Ironically, while the president credited himself with hiring only the best people, criminal conduct by his cronies showed they were anything but the best. And although some of their violations were unrelated to the president and his campaign, Trump aides and advisors have been convicted of offenses directly connected to the investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election by Special Counsel Robert Mueller III. Michael Cohen, the president's longtime lawyer and fixer, pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including campaign finance law violations for having paid off, in exchange for their silence, 2 women who claimed they had affairs with Mr. Trump. Paul Manafort and Rick Gates, Trump campaign chairman and deputy campaign chairman, respectively, were also convicted as a result of the Russia probe. Manafort lied to the FBI, a criminal offense under federal law, while Gates pleaded guilty to unrelated financial charges and cooperated in the investigation. Trump campaign foreign policy advisor George Papadopoulos pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about his contacts with Russians, a common crime in Trump world. And Michael Flynn, the president's first national security advisor, also pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI about conversations he had with the Russian ambassador during Donald Trump's presidential transition. Last but not least, Roger Stone, Donald Trump's longtime political advisor, was charged with making false statements, obstruction of proceeding, and witness tampering in connection with the releases of Democrats' emails hacked by Russia. Other than the unrelated financial crimes some of these men committed and Cohen's conviction for campaign finance law violations, the president's aides and associates were all charged with covering up one thing: their contacts, communications, and ties with Russia, the very subject matter of the special counsel's investigation. Yet more stunning than the concerted cover-up of Russian contacts is the revelation of President Trump's own criminal conduct, both as a presidential candidate and while in office. Trump violated campaign finance laws during his candidacy and engaged in brazen instances of obstruction of justice while a sitting president. Those crimes coalesce to form 2 conclusions. 1, there was a nefarious cover-up related to a foreign adversary's assault on our election in an effort to protect the president. And 2, no president has ever acted in such a self-serving manner as has President Trump, consistently favoring his own interests over the nation's and abusing his powers at every opportunity. The president's criminal conduct and abuse of power have threatened our laws, the Constitution, and democracy. In nearly 2 decades, I've defended hundreds of individuals accused of the same criminal activities as the president and his associates. I therefore sympathize with the need for justice and accountability as applied to all men, including the president. When considering President Trump's culpability, it's far too tempting to succumb to political spins and mischaracterizations emanating from the left, the right, the media, politicians, and the White House. Even the president himself has manipulated that noise, weaponizing his tweets to inflame his adversaries and critics, feed his base, misinform the public, and fuel news cycles. The Trump presidency is replete with outrageous lies, cover-ups, and corrupt acts, setting new norms for the highest office of the land. This book does not endeavor to address the entire universe of Trump wrongdoings and violations. I leave that discussion to political experts and analysts. Instead, relying on my knowledge and expertise as a federal practitioner, I provide the reader with a fair and impartial analysis of the criminal and constitutional violations by President Trump and his aides, as unveiled by the Mueller investigation. Interference with the 2016 American election by a foreign adversary, the Trump campaign's dubious contacts with Russians, and the president's criminal acts aimed at obstructing the investigation into the interference, as well as his own conduct, are detailed and documented in the historic Mueller Report. What follows is my analysis of the crimes committed by key Trump associates, as well as a concise outline and interpretation of the Mueller Report's findings, which detail the president's own criminal acts. I provide the reader with a far more genuine and accurate recap of the report than the one released by Attorney General William Barr, whose 4-page biased and